Hi. Okay, so I know. I have not done an episode since September of this year. Um, I just been super busy to be real. Like work kicked off and I've been busy. I've been traveling. I've been really, really enjoying the job and the fellowship and learning so much. Um, so it's been a lot. It's been a lot of just moving pieces and I've been on the go and I've kind of hemmed and hawed about doing an episode to end out the year and I really wanted to make time for it and so today I have the time to do so. So here I am. I hope that everyone has been doing well though, especially like people who consistently listen to the podcast. And I don't want you to think that I've given up on it. It's just I I have to really figure out how to balance work and my my business. Because like I said, work just takes up a lot of my time now and I have a lot of things that I have to get accomplished within this like moving into 2025 at my job too. So but everything's been going really well. It's just this has unfortunately kind of taken a back burner a little bit and um I I will try to be more conscious about that and try to make episodes even if I just make like one in a month or something like that just to keep it kind of going. So um but yeah, I wanted to share a post that I saw that has been it's definitely like relatable, I think, and especially as we're closing out the year. Um and so I think that a lot of people can relate to it and are probably experiencing it. I know I feel like I am. So and I feel like it's something that I've talked about before, but still it could be a refresher for some and for some who are new completely to it or new to the podcast, like it could be helpful to that too. So I saw it on Twitter. You know, I love Twitter. Um, and it's from this page. It's at Aquarius Gate, Victoria Goldlight. And so it says signs of transition to a new level of being. So number one are pains throughout the body, especially in the neck, shoulders, and back. This is a result of intense changes at the level of your DNA, occurring as new vibrations awaken within you. Do not worry, this will pass. This I definitely feel like I felt. And it could be a combination of things too, right? Because sometimes it's like if you recently start back working out, like obviously that happens too. Um, but it's definitely something that I felt like maybe like 2 months ago, where I was just feeling like random back pain or like random pain like on my in my arms and stuff like that. And I have not been working out. So it's definitely not that. And like the most workout I've been doing now is just I walk. I walk a lot to work back, walk walking. Like that's how I commute and stuff like that. Train and stuff like that. So that's not like intense working out. So yeah, I think that, like it says, that's a sign that things are changing in you and you're awakening, transitioning to a new version of yourself. So just kind of be aware of that too. It's not always necessarily like something's wrong. It's just you're growing, literally, you know? So, number two, a feeling of deep inner sadness for no apparent reason. You are releasing your past, this and previous lives, and this causes a feeling of sadness. This is similar to the situation with moving from a house where you have lived for many years to a new house. You really want to move, but at the same time, you feel sorry to part with the memories, energies, and everything you experienced in the old house. This too will pass. So yeah, like just randomly feeling sad and not really knowing why. And sometimes for us women, like that could just be like, oh, your cycle's coming. Because I know that happens to me when I sometimes I'm just like sad for no reason. And then it's like, oh, that's why, right? But other times it could just be um because something, like you're about to transition to a new version of yourself, a higher version of yourself. And so it's kind of like it's kind of weird because if you think about it, it's like your soul is so in tune with your higher self that it's already like um grieving for the old version of you, and you don't and we as humans, we don't even really understand like what's going on, you know? So that could be what it is. Number 3, tears for no reason. The same as in part 2. Um it is very good and useful to let yourself cry, as this helps to release the old energy that remains in you. So obviously, like, yeah, sometimes we just cry for no reason. I think I talked about that before on the podcast, how like I struggled with crying and felt like I never really cry. And I would say within the past 2 years I've cried a lot, and um they've been good tears. So even if it is, even if it's something that's sad, like it's always worked out, and it's better to release than to hold it in. Um and talk it out and just let it go. So, number 4, unexpected change of job or occupation. This is a very typical symptom. As you change, everything around you will change too. Don't worry about finding the perfect job or occupation right away. This too shall pass. You are in a transitional state now and may change jobs a few more times before you settle on what you love. I talked about this last year in the like that happened to me. That was a big transition, a big life transition that happened to me. I had to get through it. Talked about it on here quite a lot. And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I feel like you're just going to keep sometimes we're going to keep like not bouncing, but again, like sometimes you're somewhere for a season, and the season could be a year, it could be a few months, it could be a few years, however long your assignment is there. And then once it's done, it's done, and you should we have to be thankful that we're being moved along and that we're not being forgotten and left somewhere where we don't belong, you know what I mean? Especially spiritually. So unexpected change of job occupation, it always works out in the end. Like, please, like, look at I can tell you from my own personal experience, it works out in the end. I don't want to say I never thought I would be here, but I don't know, I just didn't think this far ahead, I guess. I think I felt like I would be in this type of position. I knew what I wanted to feel in a new job, but sometimes, like, when you're in the thick of it and you're in the beginning of it, you don't really see the path of where things are going. You're just kind of there and you got to fight through it, kind of. So, number 5, leaving old friendships, family ties, and relationships. You are tied to your biological family by old karma. As you complete this karmic cycle, the ties of old relationships begin to weaken. At first, it will seem as if you are moving away from your family and friends. This too shall pass, and after some time, you will be able to create completely new relationships with them, if necessary. However, these relationships will be built on the basis of new energy without karmic ties. So that's something I talked about too. Like, sometimes the relationships, family, friends, whoever, it just doesn't, it's not even that, I don't even like to say that it doesn't work out. It's just like, again, we're all here for a purpose. You have certain things happen, and I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason, and you don't meet people by accident, or people aren't in your life by accident. And it's imperative really to like make sure you enjoy the connections that you have, but also be understanding that like everything isn't meant to last forever. Every relationship, every friendship, every connection isn't meant to last forever. And I think that the more you experience those losses and those type of transitions, the more that when new ones come, you can learn to appreciate them in the presence. Like, that's something that I've been practicing lately, is just like learning how to be in the presence, even if like in terms of like dating and stuff like that. Like, talking about the future is great, but also learning to like just be in the present, because sometimes what you talk about, what you want to happen, might not happen with that person, or it might not happen. So, more so, just being able to appreciate where you are and like what you're experiencing right now. It'll make it just a better experience for you and the person, and just like it makes things easier, really. But yeah, being able to not even cut ties, but just know that sometimes things aren't meant to last, and relationships and connections aren't meant to last, and that's okay. Um, so where were we? That was 5. Oh gosh, this thing. Hold up. So, number six, unusual sleep patterns. It is very likely that you will spend many nights awake from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. There's a lot of work going on inside of you, and this will often cause you to wake up and rest. Don't worry, if you can't sleep, get up and do something else rather than lie in bed and think about the worries of the world. Um, so, that is another one that I felt like I experienced. I used to experience that like years ago, like when I first started what I didn't know was a spiritual awakening. I would be waking up at 2 a.m. Or it was either 2 a.m. or it was like 4 a.m. I kept getting up at the same time, and I would literally, my body would wake up every time at the same exact time. And I would jolt out of my sleep, out of a like a deep sleep, out of a dream. And usually I feel like for me, now that I've, gone through that stuff, I felt like that usually happens to me still. And that usually means that a transition is coming or some type of change or a new level of something in my life is coming because I will wake up at 3 a.m. Lately, it's been 3 a.m. for me. I will get up at 3 a.m. consistently, and I don't really stay up, but I definitely pay attention to it. Like before, I used to wake up um 2:22 or 4:44. I used to wake up at 4:44 in the morning, like religiously for like months. At the time, again, I didn't really know anything about angel numbers. I didn't know anything about spirituality and all that stuff. So I just thought it was really weird. And I would have these vivid dreams at that time too. So I say all that to say, like, again, that's something that I've experienced too. And it's something to pay attention to. And I think that, like it's saying, like, even when if you notice that you keep waking up at the same time or in between those two times, you can use that time to pray. You can use that time to talk to God or whoever your higher self or whoever it is, whatever it is that you believe in. You can use that time to journal, to write down any dreams that you might be having, because sometimes those are like messages that are coming into you from your higher self. You can use that time to just like grab some water and like literally just lay there, even if you can't go back to sleep, like letting your body rest. But I strongly feel like when you start waking up at those times, it's like something on that other side is trying to tell you something. Someone somewhere is trying to tell you something or give you a message. And a lot of times, like you'll have very vivid dreams at those times. Um, and and it's like very, like I said, very important to pay attention to those dreams. I remember even like for myself, like recently I had a dream around that time and it was very dream. It was like someone was calling me. I was receiving a phone call and I recognized the phone number and the person who it was too. And I haven't spoken to that person in so long. And I remember I had the dream and then I woke up and it was around that time. Like I think it was like three something in the morning. Um, but yeah, again, something to pay attention to. So like that's what I mean. Like examples like that where you'll have a very vivid dream and it'll be something that you'll be able to in the waking life be able to remember, and there's a message there. So just pay attention to that. The next one, so vivid, oh, literally what I was talking about. Vivid dynamic dreams. You may dream of war, battles, being chased, and monsters. You are literally releasing old energy, and this energy of the past is often symbolically expressed as war, running away from something and some kind of monsters. This too shall pass. So again, like I said, like I was talking about the vivid dreams, you sometimes might have very, very vivid and dynamic dreams. Sometimes you won't even understand what what the dream means or like what it's trying to say. It's just again like something's coming in your life, things are changing, your body, your mind, everything, your soul is trying to adjust with the change too. Number eight, physical disorientation. You will feel very ungrounded at times. You will have a disorientation with a feeling that you cannot stand firmly on the ground with both feet, or you may feel as if you are between two worlds. As your consciousness enters the new consciousness, enters the new energy, your body may sometimes lag behind. Spending more time in nature will help ground the new energy within you. So, I think that just again, like kind of figuring out what form of nature works for you, whether it's like walking through the woods or something like that. For me, it would definitely be during warmer times, like going to the beach. Going to the beach, that type of environment, being by the water always grounds me. And it brings me so much peace just hearing the water and the waves and yeah, it's just such a great environment for me. But that's me personally. Some people enjoy being in the woods, some people enjoy, I don't know, hiking, whatever, go in the mountains or something. I don't know, but just finding what works for you. Number nine, more self talk. You will find yourself talking to yourself more and more. You may suddenly find yourself talking to yourself for the last half hour. There is a new level of communication brewing within you right now. And self talk is the tip of the iceberg. There will be more and more of these conversations, more and more free, more in tune with the moment, more and more enlightened. Don't think you are crazy. You are just one of the awakened ones entering the new energies. This is something that I know I personally do. I talk to myself all the time, especially at home, whether it's talking things through, talking out loud, just like reading things out loud, or again, more so like thinking things through or practicing something or things like that. I mean, I have a dog, so I guess technically I'm not talking to myself, but she's not going to be able to respond to me. So I'm talking to myself still, essentially. But even if you don't have one, like, I feel like everybody does that at some points of their life. Like, we're gonna talk to yourself. You're talking things through, because I feel like you trust yourself. You know yourself, and you trust yourself to make a decision. So that's who you would talk to. Especially if you live alone, like you just kind of learn you're not always going to be able to call somebody. You're not always going to be able to talk it out on the phone or in person with someone or virtually, whatever. So you kind of just can talk to yourself. It's okay. No one's going to know. Like, so it's fine. You're not crazy. And number 10, feeling lonely, even in the company of others. You may feel lonely and separated from others. You feel a desire to avoid large groups and crowds. Like every awakened one, your path is sacred and lonely. Feeling lonely causes anxiety and interferes with establishing relationships with others. The feeling of loneliness is also connected with the fact that your spiritual guides are starting to leave you. They have been with you during your entire journey through past lives. Now it is time for them to leave so that you can fill your space with your own divinity. This symptom will also pass, and the inner emptiness will be filled with love and energy of new vibrations. That one is very interesting. And I feel like that's something that I'm kind of currently going through. I felt like sometimes like I got so used to having guidance, and I think um that I still have some forms of guidance, but it's definitely gotten smaller and not as frequent. And I was thinking like, oh, something is wrong, like I'm doing something wrong, but I think it's more of a sign like I'm growing and I am doing what I'm supposed to do. And when you get to where you're supposed to be, you don't need as much guidance because you're starting to when you're following your path, right? When you're not questioning things anymore and you're trusting yourself and you're trusting the path of your life, you won't need that guidance. So you won't need that extra kind of cushion there and those extra voices telling you you're doing well, right? You have to believe that you're doing right and tell yourself that. And so with that comes less, just less of that guidance, and you are going to feel a little bit lonely because you're used to having that connection, if that makes sense. So 11, dispassion, indifference. You may feel absolute indifference with a complete lack of desire to do anything. This is normal. It is just part of the ongoing process. Accept this as a time of non action. Do not fight with yourself, for this too shall pass. It is like rebooting a computer. You need to turn it off for a while to load it with new, more complex software, or in this case, the vibration of new energies. So again, just, going with the flow, going with it and letting things happen and unfold in your life how they're supposed to be, trusting the process. Number 12, deep longing for home. This is probably the most difficult to cope with compared to all the other conditions. You may be experiencing a deep and overwhelming desire to leave this planet and return home. This is not a suicidal desire. It is not out of anger or frustration. You are not going to make a big deal out of it for yourself or others. There is simply a quiet part of you that wants to go home. The main reason for this is very simple. You have completed your karmic cycles. You have fulfilled your contract with life in this incarnation and are ready to begin a new life while still in this body. As you transition, you retain an inner memory of what it is like to be on the other side. How ready are you to sign up for a new journey to fulfill your duty here on earth? Are you ready to accept the challenge and step into the new energy? Yes, indeed. You can go home right now, but you have already come so far after so many lifetimes. It would be a shame to leave before the end of the film. Also, Spirit needs you here to help others make the transition into the new energy. They will need a spiritual guide in human form, just like you, who has already crossed over from the old energy into the new. The path you are now walking gives you the experience you need to become a teacher of the new divine human. No matter how lonely and dark your journey may be at times, remember that you are never alone. So that one, um, yeah, I mean, I guess I can understand that too. Like, you don't necessarily have to, even if you have that urge to be home, so to speak, you can still be here and serve as a guide and teach people your experience, share your experience, and help other people on their path too. And um, I feel like as long as you're here, you're breathing, like there's always things for you to do. There's always more for you to be doing at a part of your journey. Um, and so just, really just keep going. It's cliche to say, but you just have to keep going. And sometimes you also have to rest. As this new year is coming, there's so many things that are going to be changing. And I was thinking about that, like for I'm making my vision board, even though my vision board really hasn't changed, to be honest with you. Like, it's the same as it was for 2024. Certain things just haven't happened yet, so I'm still going to keep it pretty similar. Maybe a few things have changed, but even with not even just about the vision board, but just like goals, like everybody always says like, what do you want to do for 2025 or for the new year? And for me, I don't really have any. I feel like I'm at a place where I'm just like I'm more so my hands are open for whatever life has for me next, and I'm remaining positive and being hopeful that things are only going to continue to keep going up from here. So I'm rolling with it. Like, I'm grateful for how this year has gone and how it's ending for me. I'm looking forward to how the new year will begin and other things that I will be able to accomplish and experience next year, and to just stay open and stay positive, stay grateful, stay loving, stay I'm going back to being myself. I think that for a while, life experiences, certain relationships, connections that I've had, um were changing me, and not necessarily for the worse, but certain things, like, as like when you get hurt, we get hurt as humans after a while, like you kind of harden up, and it's okay to have that tough exterior, but also still being able to be in tune with your heart and your loving self. And so that's something that I definitely have been working on this year in 2024 and moving into 2025, like not letting experiences and people and things like that tamper or harden my heart again. To remain open, to remain free, to remain loving no matter what. You have to be you. And believing that, like, when you keep showing up as yourself, nothing, I don't want to say nothing can hurt you, but just don't let things change who you are. If you're gonna change for the better, not completely change who you are. More so just grow. Don't you don't have to lose the core you. If you're a loving, funny, loving, bubbly person, stay like that. That's needed. If you're a very reserved and harder and not, that's needed too. Like, who you are is needed. You are the way you are for a reason. Don't let anyone or anything change that. So I hope this was helpful. I hope everyone has a safe new year going into the new year. I hope that you celebrate it and you celebrate yourself. Um, you have some goals for yourself, or just looking forward to how things will be for your life in the 2025. Um, I hope it's great. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for me. Um, yeah, as always, I'm your host, Chanel. I know I've been gone, and I'm gonna get back to it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do like leaving like once a month record, but for now, I wanted to drop this closing out the year. And I hope that everyone, like I said, I hope you have a great new year. Be safe. Love you guys. As always, I'm your host, Chanel. This is Black Hippie Lounge. If you haven't already, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Black Hippie Lounge. And as always, meditate, manifest, invest in you, and Happy New Year. Be proud of you and getting this far and what the next year has for us. Take care.